Hey you guys, it's Nicole Foss. I am here to talk to you about why I left LuLaRoe. All right, let's do this. I think it's important for you to know a little bit of the backstory as to why I joined LuLaRoe in order to understand why I left LuLaRoe. You see, I've always wanted to be a mom. That's been my childhood dream. That's all I ever wanted. And when I got older and my husband and I were unable to have children at first, I pursued my career. We decided that's what I should do. And I had a very successful career. I went and got a couple degrees, worked as a tax accountant for some of the top retailer and technology companies in the US. And then I had my first child. And there's something that shifts in your priorities when you have a child. And I knew that I needed to be home with her more. But at the time, I still needed to work. And so I enjoyed my maternity leave. I went back to work. I continued to grow. And I told my husband, when we have more kids, I don't want to go back to work. That's really not the vision I had for our future. So along came our second, and I looked at my husband and I said, okay, I'm staying home. And I knew that that wasn't the right choice at that time. And so I returned to work again. So here I am as a tax accountant, and as you guys know, we have busy seasons, and our tax seasons can be somewhat long, oftentimes a couple of months, and require some pretty intensive work schedules. There were times with my 3-hour commute and a long day at work that I wasn't seeing my children at all. I wasn't seeing them in the morning, and I wasn't seeing them at night, and maybe a couple of days would go by before I'd even see them. That's not what I wanted. That's not the kind of mom I wanted to be. I realized with my career that I needed that identity. I appreciated that success outside of motherhood, but I felt like I was failing as a mom, not being there for them. And so I was looking for something that would give me that balance between the two worlds that I have. And along came LuLaRoe, and I looked at it and I was like, this would be something. This will give me a job, income, an identity outside of motherhood, and yet still allow me to be there for my kids. Still allow me the flexibility to do what I needed to with my kids. I knew it would require work. I knew it meant that I wasn't going to be playing on the ground, and going to the park all day long with my kids, that I would have to work my business. But that's what I wanted. I wanted both of those. And so I joined LuLaRoe in October of 2015, and it was good. Actually, it was so good that 6 weeks later, I quit my corporate job. My business was booming with LuLaRoe. 3 months later, I cruise qualified. A month after that, I hit the first leadership rank of trainer. And a few months after that, I hit the second leadership rank of coach. I was loving this business. I loved it. It provided for me on the career side. It provided for me on the family side. It provided for me on the financial side. It fueled me. It was so good. The business was so good. My customers were awesome. My team was awesome. It was so good. And then it wasn't. Something happened. I don't know exactly what happened on LuLaRoe's side, but I can tell you what happened on my side. You see, with LuLaRoe, we would have to front money and buy inventory. And that inventory eventually grew for me, that my entire boutique took up my 3-car garage, which is where I'm sitting right now doing this video. And when we would order that inventory, oftentimes it wasn't in small amounts. We're talking $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, boxes and boxes of inventory, tons of cash going out and tied up in inventory. And when the inventory coming in was really good, when I could sell most of my box just like by opening the box and showing it to my customers and it would fly out of here, it was good. It was really good. And then there was this shift, and I stopped getting unicorn prints, or I wouldn't get them as often. The unicorn prints are those desirable prints that your customers just want and fight over, and it's like a guaranteed sale. I wasn't getting those anymore. And as a matter of fact, the prints I was getting weren't that desirable either. It was getting to the point where I would get in a box of inventory, and I used to be able to sell through 75 to 80% of that in the first showing, to where I was only selling about 10% in the first showing. That was our first problem. As a result of that problem, it led to other problems. I was spending a lot of time swapping inventory, which then required me to rephotograph inventory, which required late nights of me staying up late, just trying to manage my 3,000 to 5,000 pieces of inventory in my boutique. Well, when that wasn't enough, we started doing boutique takeovers, and that required us to travel to another person's boutique and sell their inventory on Facebook Live to our customers. It was a great way to show new inventory without having to front that cost. The problem was I was traveling. I was traveling oftentimes 2 hours north, where I would spend all day going to multiple boutiques, because if I'm gonna drive that far, I might as well do a bunch of sales, and then come home well after midnight. Remember that reason I joined LuLaRoe? So I could be home with my kids, so I could do a business that kept me home with my kids and gave me the flexibility and the financial freedom and all those things? I wasn't having that anymore, because now I had roughly $50,000 worth of inventory sitting in my garage that I could hardly sell. And now I was traveling, and I had to go to other places to make these sales, which took me away from my family. I also had to spend a ton of time rephotographing as I was doing these swaps, which again took away more time. It was a very inefficient process. In December of 2017 was a monumental turning point for me. On December 1st, my son was born. First day of the month. In sales, your sales start at zero. It's day one. You're back at zero. I had my baby, and a couple days later, I was crying to my husband and talking to a couple friends. I was like, I have to work. I have to work. I have to, in order to get my leadership bonus, I have to sell. Now, just for those of you who don't know, most direct sales companies require you to sell a certain amount to be active in order to earn your leadership bonus. However, most companies, as you get higher in leadership, that requirement goes down because they want you to really focus on your team. With LuLaRoe, they were equal. So as your leadership rank got higher, you had to work harder on your sales. That made it a bit challenging to be postpartum with a newborn, trying to let my body recover, trying to heal, trying to not be too emotional. I'm extremely fatigued, and now I have to hit some not so easy sales. So I would take my son with me. I would put him in the baby carrier. I would do lives. I would do boutique takeovers. He would be crying half the time. I would just call it quits. It was a mess. I was a mess. I hit my goals that I needed to for December, but it was not a good month for me. It was not. I wanted to be celebrating the birth and bonding with my son, and I was stressed to the max because I had to keep my business moving. And the only way I could do that was doing all those things. So at that point, I knew at some point I would leave LuLaRoe. But the other part of it was that amazing team that I had built. Those women that I loved and cared for. I couldn't leave them. You know how I said I've always wanted to be a mom? I'm a mom to everyone. And I was mother hen to those baby chicks that were my team. I could not leave them. I wasn't ready to leave them. And so I stuck it out. I decided I have to make this work. Maybe in a year, enough of my team members will have quit that I will be okay walking away. And so I continued to persevere until July of 2018, when one of my friends joined Epiphany and posted about it. And a lot of people speculated about what happened. And some people said some not so nice things. And so I reached out to her and I said, this doesn't sound right. Tell me the truth. Why did you join Epiphany? Why? What is it about this company that appeals to you so much? I want to know. I want to know the truth. I want to hear it straight from you. And she shared with me her story. And then I found myself asking all these questions. I was interviewing her at this point and I wanted to know all the details. Halfway through that phone conversation, I looked at my husband, covered the phone, and was like, I think I want to join Epiphany. That was not the intent of the phone call, but that's what ended up happening. I felt like it was one of those prayers, where you're like, at some point, something will come along. And it was like right there in front of me. So I made the very hard decision to leave my team of over 250 active retailers. It was hard. It was hard to say goodbye to them because I was going to a competing company. But I haven't looked back since. Coming to Epiphany has been everything I hoped LuLaRoe was going to give me, but didn't give me in the end. Coming to Epiphany has given me that time freedom. I'm no longer up late shipping orders to my customers. I'm no longer up late taking photos of my inventory, apologizing to a customer because I thought I had something, but I didn't have it in my inventory anymore, and having that stress of disappointing a customer. I'm no longer tied to my garage. You guys, I park my cars in my garage. That is what garages are made for. I get to be with my kids. Do I work? Yes. I work my Epiphany business. I have time where my kids are with family so that I can focus on my business. But there are other times where I am playing with them. I am there for the moments that are important to me. I'm there for dinner. Every night, I'm there for dinner. Every night, I'm there to tuck them into bed. Every morning, I'm there when they wake up. You see, those are the moments that are so crucial to me. Those are the moments that my mom was always there for me, and it just really framed how I saw motherhood. And it brings me so much joy to be there for my kids in those moments. Epiphany gives me that financial freedom because I don't have inventory. I don't have $50,000 tied up in inventory that I'm having a hard time moving. Epiphany ships those orders directly. And so because of that, I don't have to carry that inventory or that cost. Epiphany holds it all for us. In addition to that, I was really worried about losing a sisterhood. Would I feel welcome? Would I make new friends? Would I find a place of belonging with Epiphany? About 1 month after I joined, I went out to Salt Lake with some of my fellow team members. I met them all for the first time. I met Jack, our CEO, for the first time. I met Rachel, our designer, for the first time. And I met Tyson, our CIO. It was the most amazing experience. And it was in that moment that I realized this sisterhood is completely different from what I have experienced before. This sisterhood truly is your cheerleader, and they have your back. We've had people on our team who have been on a cruise and unable to invoice their customers with a new style releasing, and other team members have stepped up and done it for them. It's a team unlike any other. And I'm loving the friendships I'm forming there. So in a nutshell, has Epiphany been a great move for me? Hands down, 100%. I haven't looked back since. It's given me what I wanted. It's given me the time freedom, the financial freedom, the location freedom that I can work from anywhere. I can sit at the park, and if I need to do a little bit of work, I can do it there. As long as I have my phone and the internet, I can work wherever I want. I could work on a cruise ship if I have internet access. The possibility is there. The freedom is there. And the joy, most importantly, the joy and happiness I have finally found again is here with Epiphany. I really hope this has resonated with someone, that this has maybe helped someone, that this has spoken to someone's heart. I know sometimes it's hard to walk away from something that's so familiar to you, something you've done for a while, whatever that may be, to move on to a new adventure. I hope this video gives you the courage to take that step. And if that step for you is learning more about Epiphany, I would love to talk to you. I'll actually include my contact info in the comments below. But our team has an opportunity group that you are welcome to join. It is called Style Your Life with Epiphany. You'll see my face in the banner. And we do an opportunity call on Facebook Live every week where we go over the business, we answer your questions, and we really help you decide if Epiphany is right for your life. It's been really helpful for me, and I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to listen and to share a little bit more about my experience. Thanks, you guys. You're all here for a game of 21 questions? Awesome. Did I hit record? Sometimes my garage makes random wind noises, like ghosts.